Ever wonder why some anglers consistently haul in those giant slab crappie, while others just catch the smaller ones? Or worse, come home empty-handed? What if I told you the real secret to consistently landing big crappie isn't some expensive boat or secret lure, but a few simple, often overlooked techniques and a deeper understanding of these fish? In this video, we're diving deep into the world of crappie fishing to reveal the big secrets that'll change your game. We're going to break down everything from choosing the perfect tackle and bait to truly understanding crappie behavior and their hidden habitats. By the end of this, you'll have the knowledge and confidence to not just find crappie, but land those elusive monster slabs you've always dreamed of. Get ready, because your crappie fishing is about to get a serious upgrade. One of the biggest mistakes I see anglers make, even experienced ones, is treating crappie like any other panfish. They'll throw out a bobber and a minnow, or troll a simple jig and hope for the best. And sure, you might catch some, but are they the big ones? Probably not. The challenge isn't just catching crappie, it's about consistently catching trophy-sized crappie. Many anglers stick to what worked last week or last year, without adjusting to the ever-changing conditions, water temperatures, or fish movements. This leads to frustration, wasted time, and a cooler full of small fry instead of the lunkers. The problem isn't their effort, it's often a lack of specific targeted strategies. Let's start with the gear, because it's foundational. Forget those heavy base rods. For crappie, especially the big ones, you need a sensitive setup. Think a light to ultralight spinning rod around 6 to 7 feet long. This gives you the backbone to fight a good fish, but enough tip action to feel those subtle crappie bites, which can sometimes feel like a leaf falling on your line. Pair that with a small spinning reel, size 1000 or 2000, spooled with 4 to 6 pound test monofilament or fluorocarbon line. Monofilament offers some stretch, which is forgiving for lighter hooks, while fluorocarbon gives you excellent sensitivity and is nearly invisible underwater. A common mistake is using line that's too heavy, which can spook wary crappie. Keep it light, keep it sensitive. Now, bait and lures. This is where it gets interesting. Live minnows are a classic for a reason. Crappie can't resist them. But it's all about presentation. A simple minnow hooked through the lip under a slip bobber is deadly, especially when crappie are suspended. But don't sleep on artificials. Small jigs, typically 1/32 to 1/16 ounce, in colors like chartreuse, white, or black, rigged with a small, soft plastic body, are incredibly effective. The key is finding the right size and color for the day. Sometimes a tiny feather jig or a hair jig can outperform plastic. And here's a secret. Sometimes tipping your jig with a small piece of crappie nibbler or a live waxworm can make all the difference, adding that scent and extra appeal. Understanding crappie behavior is the true game changer. Crappie are structure-oriented fish. They love cover, submerged timber, brush piles, dock pilings, lily pad edges, and even bridge abutments. They hang out in these spots for ambush points and protection. But it's not just any structure. It's the structure at the right depth for the current conditions. In spring, they push shallow for spawning, often in 2 to 8 feet of water. Summer sees them retreat to deeper, cooler water, often suspending over ledges or deep brush piles. Fall, they move back to shallower, actively feeding areas as water cools, often around 10 to 20 feet. And in winter, they gather in deep holes or around significant vertical structure like bridge pilings, often incredibly deep, sometimes 20 to 40 feet or more. The point is, if you're not adjusting your depth, you're not finding the fish. Let's talk techniques beyond the bobber. One highly effective method for finding and catching those suspended crappie, especially in open water, is slow trolling. This isn't about speed, it's about precision. You can use multiple rods, each rigged with a different jig or minnow at varying depths. This lets you quickly pinpoint the fish's depth preference. When you find one, stick to that depth and trajectory. Another killer technique, especially around heavy cover, is spider rigging. This involves using multiple long rods, typically 12 to 16 feet, fanned out from the front of the boat, each with a jig or minnow presented vertically. This allows you to cover a wide area of brush or timber, presenting bait right in their face. It's a subtle dance, moving just fast enough to cover ground, but slow enough to allow the crappie to react. Here's the true secret that ties it all together. Crappie are incredibly sensitive to light and subtle changes in their environment. They often hold just above or within the thermocline in deeper water during warmer months, or near structure that offers shade. Think about their eyes. They're large for low light conditions. This means dawn, dusk, and cloudy days are often prime times. But even more important is understanding the subtle bait presentation. Crappie aren't like aggressive bass. They often just mouth the bait. That's why ultralight gear and sensitive line are crucial. You need to feel that almost imperceptible tick or pressure change. If you're not getting bites, it's not always the spot. Sometimes it's the presentation. Go lighter on the jig head, slow down your retrieve, or add a slight pause. Experiment until you find what triggers them. That aha moment when you connect with a slab crappie, because you finally felt that whisper of a bite. That's what we're after. So, to consistently land those monster crappie, remember these key takeaways. Use light-sensitive tackle. Match your bait or jig size and color to the conditions. Deeply understand crappie behavior and seasonal movements. And always pay attention to depth and subtle presentation. These aren't just tips. They are the bedrock of consistently catching bigger, better crappie.